what you're getting.
I don't care. I'll eat whatever it is. I eat anything.
Well, you're getting you're getting a strange kind of soup.
Oh, I like soup.
Because I didn't read the details. We had a little problem.
We had to improvise.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure it'll be fine.
So Julius, the other day, Dad was telling me the story of when they adopted my brother Bret. They said you were the lawyer.
Yeah.
Do you remember it, Julius?
What I remember is that it was time for you to sign the final papers, and you couldn't do it because she was busy having a baby. You remember that? Did you remember your wife? We had to delay the final signing of the final papers because she was having a baby.
I don't really remember that.
I remember it.
Do you remember what happened afterward?
No, I don't particularly remember.
You and the judge.
Normally, it's a very routine thing. You present the
It
paper to the
was for a
judge.
while.
Why? What was the problem?
Never forget that one. Yeah, that was funny. We went. It was a very formal affair. This adoption thing is not informal. We tied. Soup. Mother was cutting up. And Bret had, of course, we'd had him for a year, I think. And, but it was a formality. So we went down to the courthouse, and Julius was there, and the judge was there in his robe, and so on. Stenographers, a whole bit. And they went through the formalities, and they got it all done. And the judge, who was a very nice man, Bret had shown some interest in something the judge had. I don't know, the club, what do you call it? I don't know, something. So, you want to look at this young man? All right. So he took Bret up on his lap. Big mistake. Bret naturally had to look at his eyes and his nose. And there was the chair. They had a chair, big chair there, a witness chair, right next to the judge. Bret got interested in that. And what do you call these things here? What do you call them?
Oh, between the spindles?
About this far apart, big enough so Bret could crawl in and turn around and crawl back out this way, sort of. Only he got stuck.
Oh, jeez.
And the next thing we know, there's the judge and the Julius and a lawyer from the adoption agency. Anyway, there are these three who'd just gone through all these formalities, and they're down on their knees trying to wiggle Bret out. And Bret was having a hell of a good time. He's laughing. He's good. He's happy. He's getting a lot of attention, And I looked at Mother, and Mother looked at me. It was funny. These three trying to get Bret out of that who didn't want to get out and wasn't cooperating one bit. I'll never forget the look Mother gave me. Like, oh God. I remember you told the judge something. I remember you told him, Your Honor, it's nice to once in a while be able to do something good.
Yeah, well, I always liked adoption work. It made me feel good to help place some child in what usually was a good home.
Well,
and the adoption procedure was such that generally it was a good home. I mean, the social services department, spent a lot of time investigating and doing a surprise call and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was nice work.
I'll never forget the day we picked Bret up. That was a big day. We had to go down to the adoption agency, and we waited there. And then one of the, I don't know what you call them, nurses, so on, had gone up to Elmira Heights to get Bret, and she brought him back and opened the door. And this was we were on sort of the second floor somehow. I didn't quite understand that. But anyway, there was a stairway, big stairway. And we heard the outside door open, and we heard the screaming, yelling, crying. It sounded like it was echoing through the whole building. And she brought Bret up, and Bret was crying like everything. He was unhappy, very unhappy. And he saw me, and they were very thoughtful on that, the option. Bret was brought out to us regularly, and we would have him for an afternoon or so. He would be out here for maybe a couple times a week for an afternoon. So, and he had been up at the greenhouse with me, and he'd been down here, of course, with Mother. Anyway, he saw me first, and all of a sudden, the minute he saw me, he quit crying. And he quit crying immediately, and he came right. He wanted to go to me, and so I took a hold of him and held him. And the minute I held him, and the lady there, the one who ran the place, she looked at it and she said, "Well, I guess he's found a home."